Hi there. Welcome to Daily Distinction. Glad you are here. We are outside today. Hey, it's holiday weekend. It is a gorgeous day in Las Vegas. I hope it's gorgeous. I've been chatting with a couple friends back in Indiana. It seems to be a beautiful day back there as well. So hope wherever you are today, you're having a great day. And I hope wherever you are today, it is a beautiful day. Yes, I know this is not very, when I sit in the studio and do this, hopefully the lighting's a little better and all that kind of good stuff. But it's just too pretty today. It's a holiday weekend. It's the weekend edition of Daily Distinction. So I hope we're coming through okay. How's it going? Oh, getting hot in Silicon Valley there, Charles? I'll be darned. Well, I hope you have a great weekend. And by the way, I noticed it was your anniversary. I posted happy anniversary. I want to say it here on the show. Happy anniversary to you and yours, and hope things are great there. So typically, if you watch Daily Distinction, on the weekends we do a little bit shorter show, but it's just kind of a check-in to keep our batteries charged and our spirits lifted, and that's what today is going to be about. One of the things that we're seeing so much about is how people are acting, during this time of incredible change. We feel so out of control sometimes. And one of the things that a lot of folks have been chatting with me about online is, gosh, it just doesn't feel like a holiday weekend when so much of our time has been sheltered in place, and so much of our time, has been doing activities that typically we wouldn't do, or spending more time at home. Wow, it just seems like it just doesn't feel like a holiday weekend. Having lived in Indianapolis for most of my adult life, it's really something, because this is the big weekend of the year in Indianapolis, with the Indy 500 festivities and the parade and everything else that's supposed to be going on. Oh my gosh, thunder and rain in Fishers right now, Pam. Well, hey, maybe I don't know what the forecast is there for tomorrow, but maybe it's kind of a good thing the race has been delayed, because of that. Scott, beautiful day in Florida. Great to hear that. I'm glad you're having that. That's fantastic. Good for you. It's strange how it feels, and I want to talk about that for just a minute, because one of the things that's happening right now is that people are responding emotionally. People are responding because they're stressed out, or it's been such a time of challenge and change. So just want to share a couple of ideas on a kind of a shortened version of Daily Distinction today. First off is the great Maya Angelou quote. Now, you've seen this 100 times, but it's a great reminder. People forget what you said, people forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. Feelings are critical. Feelings are important. Feelings are dynamic and lasting. And so, yeah, they may forget what you said, and they may forget what you did, but they don't forget how what you said and what you did made them feel. That's one of the challenges that we have in business, is that sometimes unintentionally we create these feelings that are deep and that last, and sometimes we don't intend to. Have you ever had a friend, maybe even if you're a parent, a child, or have you ever had a customer remark about something and you don't even really remember it, or it wasn't that significant to you, but it was really significant to them? It's because that made them feel in a particular way that they remembered, and it was powerful to them because of how it made them feel. It wasn't as powerful to you because you weren't engaged in that emotion, and those emotions are so critically powerful. Oh, good. Glad you had a great day on your anniversary, Charles. And there you go. What is an anniversary? It is a time that we remember the feelings that we had around an important event. We celebrate our wedding anniversaries in part because we celebrate how it felt when when we had that joyous event of getting married. So that's really important. And because of feelings, and because we know if we feel irritated, the result is an action that we may regret. We might snap at somebody. We might be, a little irritable, might not be as productive. We know that if we're feeling good and we're feeling healthy and we're feeling happy, our productivity tends to go up. Good things tend to happen, right? Because it tends to get on a cycle. So if so much of our actions are based upon how we feel, it begs this important question. Do people behave rationally? Right? Do people behave rationally? When we see that woman going off at the the door of that store, or we see people, getting mad at Costco and all that, we go, man, what how irrational is that? So do you believe that people behave rationally? And I'm going to suggest to you something that you might disagree with, but hang in here with me. Let's talk about it for a minute. And that is that people always behave rationally. People always behave rationally. Now, let me explain that to you in just a second here. Charles says, celebrate Memorial Day watch. Ford, I haven't seen that movie, Charles. Ford versus Ferrari. That's one that Tam and I need to watch. And Curtis, always great to have you here. Thank you for taking time to be here today. It's always great. And thank you I noticed some folks have been sharing this, so I really appreciate that as well. Okay, people always behave rationally. You may not agree with that, but people do. People always behave rationally from their point of view. Buy into that now? In other words, nobody wakes up in the morning and says, man, I am going to do something irrational today. When you say to somebody when they've done something, anybody from a kid to a coworker, when you say to them, why in the world did you do that? Don't they usually have a reason? Now, you don't agree with the reasoning, but most people don't say, I'm going to do something irrational. I mean, certainly there are extreme cases, but for the vast majority of us, I bet if you ask that woman that went crazy in the viral video at the front of the store, she would say, we have to stay. She would have, from her point of view, a very rational explanation of why she behaved in a way that we perceive to be irrational. She was operating rationally from her point of view. Tammy, before the pandemic, Tammy would come home from the mall loaded down with a bag from Nordstrom's. And I you saved us. How did you save us money? Look at that big bag of stuff you bought. What? And she said, I bought all this on sale. Is that rational? And I ask that question in seminars, and every woman is going, yes, it's rational. And every guy's going like that. And it's partly gender differences, but the other thing is this. I'm behaving rationally from my point of view. She's behaving rationally from hers. I'm thinking, how much have you spent? She's thinking, look what I saved on things we were going to buy anyway. And so if we're going to have a meaningful conversation, we have to understand the other person's point of view. Curtis, you're exactly right. Rationality is viewed through the lens of one's perspective. Through one's perspective. Yeah, it went dark there for a second. I thought Tammy was shutting me down in the middle of that story, Charles. I don't know what happened there. But Curtis, you make the perfect point. It's viewed through the lens of one's perspective. So here's the key. If you're going to influence anyone, you have to get where they're coming from, not where you're coming from. If I want to make an impression and have Tammy not spend as much money, even if it's on sale, I can't start by saying you're wrong. And if she wants to impress upon me that she's making wise purchasing decisions on things we would have bought anyway, and she saved us money, she can't win me over by starting by saying you're wrong. As we go through this stressful and challenging time, one of the things we have to remember is that people, even the people we disagree with, are behaving rationally from their point of view. And if we want to feel better about the world, if we want to feel better about our position, we can't just listen to people that think the way we think and do the way we do. Look, as everything reopens and business is going to rebuild and grow, it's an important reminder for all of us in business today. is that our customers and our employees, man, they make their choices and behave rationally from their perspective. If you don't understand why they're doing what they're doing, maybe that's a reflection on your lack of understanding their perspective as much as it is of their behavior not aligning with your desire. So we can all be a little bit better at understanding people a little bit more effectively. It means we have to humble ourselves enough to pay attention to where they're coming from and why they're doing what they do. I was at a program one time, and I don't recall his name, but it was a psychologist. And he said something that I'd never really considered before. And what he said struck me. He said, if I would have experienced in my life what you experienced in yours, the likelihood is really strong I would be just like you. In other words, if I would have experienced in my life the ups, the downs, the parents, the friends, the education, whatever, if I would have experienced in my life exactly what you experienced in yours, the chances are really good I'd be just like you. Why? Because our experiences create that lens of one's perspective. And that creates why we do the things we do. Hey, Ann, great to see you. Glad you're here today. Thank you for joining on our condensed version here of Daily Distinction. There's my pal, Ken. I just, right when we were going on, I looked down, I got that text that you sent me. I've got a new banner that's going to be on here on our page because Ken was kind enough to do that. So I appreciate that. And hey, don't forget tomorrow, you're going to be able to see my pal Ken and me and our friend Glenn Morshower on the Ken and Glenn Show with a guy named Scott, the Memorial Day edition. And Ken, you were mentioning that we may have a special guest tomorrow. I don't know if we ought to give that away yet or if that's confirmed, but Ken was working on getting a guest for us, and I know that is going to make for a heck of a show. Even if he's not on tomorrow, I'm sure he's going to be on it sometime in the near future. So I'll save that big reveal for Ken. But anyway, what we wanted to talk about today, and what I want to remind you of today, is the importance of understanding that people always behave rationally. They behave rationally at all times based upon their point of view, and so we have to understand how they feel. And as Maya Angelou said, people are going to forget what you say, and they're going to forget what you do, but they're never going to forget how you made them feel. And so on this Memorial Day weekend, let's make certain that we focus on helping our families and helping our friends feel really good about where they are and what they're doing. Ronaldo, thank you so much. Great being with you. Oh, Glenn, good to see you. It's been a long time. Glad you like these. I'll tell the story about these on an upcoming edition. These are special glasses that there's a story behind them. So I'll make sure I'll pass that along in the future. But Lynn, it's great seeing you. Great having you here. Ken says he is confirmed. Oh, it's Jeffrey. Oh, I thought we were getting Jennifer. I thought we got the good Gittimer. I hope he sees this. Guys, I hope he sees this. My great friend and the great Jeffrey Gittimer is going to be our guest. If you know anything about sales, you know that he is the name when it comes to sales. Little Red Book of Selling, maybe the best-selling sales book of all time. I'm sure it's one of the top 5. So Jeffrey Gittimer is going to be with us. So a few years back, the National Speakers Association that has a dinner every year. It's called the Foundation Dinner. It's a fundraiser for the NSA Foundation, and they do different things during some years it's one thing, it's variety shows. Some years it's something else. And a couple of years ago, the Foundation Dinner was the Scott McCain roast. They roasted me, and one of the things I will never forget is that Gittimer had a speech in California, got on a plane and flew across the country on his own dime to be one of the roasters to roast me that night. So he's something else, and I really appreciate that. So I'm really, really looking forward to having him there. Yeah, Charles, we need to make it a 2-fer. You bet. Jennifer, in her own right, her book about In a New York Minute is really, really terrific. So I hope she gets a chance to join us as well. Look at this. It's afternoon already, Danny. Better late than never, right? Better late than ever. Glad that you're here. And it is, the number one best-selling sales book of all time, Little Red Book of Selling by Jeffrey Gitomer. So he'll be our guest tomorrow night. And by the way, it's the Ken and Glenn Show with a guy named Scott. It's 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. And hope that you tune in. So here's the final reminder. It's all about how we make people feel. So on this Memorial Day weekend, let's get out there and create some good feelings. I'll look forward to talking to you again tomorrow. I'll be right back here. I'm here every day. Oh, Scott, oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot to mention that. I posted it on, I am so glad you reminded me of that. Thank you. I posted it on the Daily Distinction page on Facebook, and that's where the link is. If you go to Amazon and search, but I'm only announcing it here. I'm not putting it out, on social media elsewhere. But if you go to Amazon, it's All Business is Still Show Business. You can download the ebook absolutely free, but I'm only doing that here. It's a free gift for everybody. Scott, I can't believe I bailed on that. So go there and you can download the book. All Business is Still Show Business. It's absolutely free, but we're just talking about it here. It's a special gift for Memorial Day weekend for the folks that watch Daily Distinction. So I appreciate you doing that. Jennifer is a rock star. She is great. So check out our fan page as well for the Ken and Glenn Show with a guy named Scott. It's on Facebook. And if you go to the Daily Distinction page, you can get the link there, or just search on Amazon. You can search under my name or search under All Business is Still Show Business. But you can download the ebook absolutely free today only. And we're only talking about it here on Daily Distinction. So that will take care of us for today. I look forward to checking in with you tomorrow. Again, we do this every day at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. If you'll share this, that helps. I thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.